Hey, it is Max here, and in this tutorial I want to show you how you can create an email course inside ActiveCampaign. So we're going to set up lessons and then also a 3-day limited time offer, and those will be all sent automatically to the participants of your email course. So it's going to be really cool. It's also going to be a bit taggy, but I'll make sure to go slow. I will explain everything step by step, and in the description below I will also put some handy resources. So let's dive in. So first I want to talk about why you should create an email course at all. Maybe you're still a bit doubting about it, you're not sure if you should go this path. So I want to give you a few quick reasons. So the first, maybe obvious reason is that by throwing an email course, you will grow your email list. And an email list obviously is really important for any kind of online business. So even if they do not convert during your free email course, you can still email them later on. Maybe they will lurk along for a while and then still purchase something. So an email list is like a really good asset for your online business. Now, the second reason is that you establish trust. Because people buy from people they trust, and because you share a lot of value in your email course, they see like, hey, he knows what he's talking about. I trust this person, like he's giving so much away for free. Now, then the third reason is that you also create demands for your product. So they learn in your email course basically what they do not know yet. So instead of coming across your product or service and they will be asking themselves like, why would I need this? They are like, whoa, like there's so much I do not know yet. I really need this. Now, I think that's really huge also. So if then in the end of the course you pitch like a nice offer, you will see great conversions, better than just Okay, let's dive in. So first I want to talk about why you should create an email course at all. Maybe you're still a bit doubting about this, so I want to give you a few quick reasons. Now, the first reason, maybe a bit obvious, is that you will grow your email list. And an email list is really important for any kind of online business. So even if they do not convert during your email course, you can still email them later on. Maybe they will like lurk along for a while and then they will maybe still purchase something. So an email list is like a really important asset. Now, the second reason is that you establish trust, and people buy from people they trust. Now, why do you establish that trust? That's because you share value to these people and you show that you're an expert on the subject. So instead that they come across your product on the internet and they will be like, I don't really not know anything about this person, or is he really an expert in this? You can show that during your email course. Now, the third reason is that you create demand for your product. So people, they will basically learn what they do not know yet. So instead of asking themselves, why would I need this? They'll be like, there's so much I do not know yet. I really need this. So you can basically show them why people would need your product or service. Now, and then the fourth reason, which I think is really cool, is that you can completely automate it. So instead of sending a bunch of random emails, you can completely automate it. You can like create a whole sequence of emails that you're going to send out in a specific order that are tailored to get someone to grab their wallet, basically, right? And because it's automated, I also wrote it down here, is that it's consistent. And that's really important with marketing. So it's important to be consistent in the eyes of the prospect, that they are like getting consistent emails from you. But it's also great because if every email is the same and delivered on the same moment, it's really easy to track how it's performing so that you can see like, at this step, maybe after the third lesson, for example, a lot of people are dropping off. I should improve something. So that's really, really, really cool. Now, what are we going to build in this tutorial? So we're going to create a free 5-lesson email course that is fully automated. So we're going to make it evergreen so that people can follow it whenever they want. So there's no set start date or whatever. They just submit a form and they will start the course right away. It's going to be automated. I already mentioned this a few times. So every email will be sent automatically. And people, this is really cool, I think, can choose when they want to receive the next lesson. So we're going to ask in the end of each email lesson, do you want to receive the next lesson right now or tomorrow? And I think this is really cool. We'll tell a bit more about that later, but this can really give like an engagement boost. Because if people are like engaged now, why would you not let them continue to the next lesson, right? And what I also really wanted to include in this email course is, or in this tutorial, is an authentic limited time offer. So we're going to add a special offer at the end of the course that is really authentic. So we're not going to say like, hey, this is valid for the next 3 days. And then after day 4 or 5 or 6, whenever, they can still access the offer, because I think that's really sneaky. So we're going to use a tool called Deadline Funnel to make sure our limited time offers are authentic, that we're not tricking people after day 3. We are going to automatically redirect these people to a page that tells them like, hey, sorry, you're too late. So the course outline that I like to use looks like this. So first, they get like a welcome email, just like a short introduction about yourself, what they're about to learn. And then we also ask them, hey, would you like to receive the first lesson right now or tomorrow? Now, then we have the first lesson. And the end of the first lesson, again, we ask, would you like to receive the next lesson right now or tomorrow? Now, and so on, and so on, and so on. And then in lesson 5, we tell them about our offer. So they followed the whole course, they opened all the emails, they're still engaging. So we're going to tell them like, hey, if you want to learn more about this, if you want to dive deeper, then I have this cool 3-day limited time offer. Now, and then we're not just going to stop there, because we want to keep reminding them about that deadline. So the first day after lesson 5, we're going to send a bonus lesson with something cool. Something that says like, blah, blah, blah. You hear something really cool that I learned. Something that like, yeah, it was really complementary to the course. And then in the end you say, oh, and just so you know, you still have 2 days to get my offer. Now then 1 day later, so 1 day before the deadline, we send like a cool story. You can basically send anything there, just something that's relevant, something that's valuable. And then in the end, again, of that email, you'll be like, hey, just so you know, you still have 1 day. You have until tomorrow, until my offer automatically expires. Get it now here, click, click, click. Now, and then on the last day, we're going to send a bunch of emails. So in the morning, we're going to send an email that just tells them like, hey, today is the last day. Be sure to get it before midnight. Then we send another email in the afternoon that says your questions answered, which is basically an email about frequently asked questions. And then in the evening, we send a last chance email. And this last chance email is really, really important, because most of the sales that you're going to get, you will see, are going to be with this last chance email. Because when you're going to tell people like, hey, you still have 4 or like 3 hours left, then people cannot like postpone this any longer. They have to make a decision right now. And then last but not least, for the people who did not purchase the offer, we're going to send a do you hate me email. So I did not come up with this myself. I found this somewhere else on the internet and I thought it was really cool. So it's basically everyone who doesn't buy, we're going to send an email with the subject, do you hate me? And then inside the email, it says like something like, you do not really hate me, right? But I noticed you did not purchase my offer. I just wanted to know why, so that I can learn from that. And that's also exactly why you send it, not to convert them, but to get to know like, hey, what was holding this person back? So enough talking, or we will do more talking, but I also want to do some building with you. That's probably why you are here. So the tools that we're going to use are ActiveCampaign. So that's our email service provider. With ActiveCampaign, we're going to send all the emails. And then we're also going to use Deadline Funnel. That's a really cool tool to create authentic deadlines. They use a bunch of tracking methods to make sure that as soon as their unique deadline expired, that they cannot access the deal anymore. So these are really cool tools. I will also put 2 affiliate links in the description in case you want to help me out, because I get a small commission for that. Now, then we're going to dive into the automation. So you can either build with me, or you can import the example in the description below. So what we're about to build, I already created like an export, and you can just like with a few clicks import that into ActiveCampaign. So you can either open a new blank automation and create with me, or you can import that example and then you can just watch the video to see how it works. So let's dive into this. So I already started with creating the automation because I wanted to add the emails, because it always takes very, very long and I know that's very boring to watch. So these are the emails that we just talked about, right? These are these emails. So we have a welcome email, then lesson 1 till 5, a bonus lesson, a cool story, an email about the last day that the offer is valid, your questions answered, and your last chance. And later on, we're going to add the "Do you hate me" email. So obviously we do not want to send all these emails at once, but I always recommend people just throw all your emails in, because it just makes the whole building process a bit easier, because you still see what you have to do. So you can just already create all your emails. You do not have to completely fully write them, but just like create some drafts, and then you can start building the automation already. So what we want to do, we want to send lesson 1 till 5 every morning at 10 a.m. So to make that happen, we're going to use some delay actions. So we're going to add some waits. So what you do, you click there, and then you go to conditions and workflow. And what we can do here is we can wait for a specific time. Like, do we want to wait for 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, or whatever? Or do we want to wait until specific conditions are met? So you could say, let's wait for 1 day. But I really want to send the emails in the morning, because I've seen for myself, that's when most people open their emails. If that's different for you, you can obviously change that. But instead of saying, hey, I'm going to send it 1 day later, I want to have full control in when someone is receiving this email. Because if they sign up for the course at 10 in the evening, they're going to get all the lessons at 10 in the evening, and we really do not want that, right? So what we do is we're going to wait until midnight. So we're going to say current time, and then you can choose if you want to wait for the current time of your contact's time zone or for your time zone. So I'm in the Europe Berlin time zone. So you can either choose if you want to have everything delivered in your time zone or in your contact's time zone. So contact's time zone is basically handy if you have subscribers or contacts from all over the world. And this is more handy if you know that everybody is like close to you. So I'm going for contact's time zone. And then I say, wait until the following conditions are met. Current time in the contact's time zone is 12 a.m. Save. And then we click save again. So now we send a welcome email. Then it's waiting till midnight. But we do not want to send the email at midnight, right? So we're going to add a second wait. And then we do almost exactly the same. We're going to say current time, contact's time zone is 10 a.m. Click save. And then we click save again. So now our email is sent. It will wait until midnight, and then it will wait until 10 in the morning, and then it's going to send lesson 1. Now, why do we add 2 waits behind each other? Why do we not just say, hey, okay, wait until 10 in the morning? That's because maybe someone is signing up for the course at 7 in the morning, and then if we would only have this one, it would already send the first lesson 3 hours later. And we do not want that, because in the welcome email, we say like, hey, do you want the next lesson right now, or do you want to have it tomorrow? So always do this. So between each lesson, we're going to add that. So this is going to be a bit of a slow process. I will try to do it quick. So we say current time, contact's time zone is 10 a.m. Click save. And then above that, we're going to add 12 a.m., so midnight. Current time, context time zone is 12 a.m. Now then we click save, and then we click save. So then we already did it for these lessons, so we have to do it 1, 2, 3 more times. So I really try to do this quickly. With ActiveCampaign always needs a while to load. So we're going to wait until midnight. Then until 10 in the morning. Then again until midnight. Here it would really be great if you could just like copy these waits that you do not have to create them over and over again. But unfortunately, that's not how ActiveCampaign works. So we do this again. We wait until 10 in the morning. And then we have to do it one more time. Yes, one more time. All right, stay with me. Current time is 10 in the morning. Save. And then above that, we wait until midnight. So you always first wait until midnight and then until 10 a.m. All right. Okay. It's done. Okay. Okay, so we have our emails, and then every time we're going to wait until midnight and then until 10 a.m. So then lesson 1 will be sent, and then we wait until midnight, we wait until 10 a.m. Now, the cool thing that I want to do in this course is that people can basically create their own experience. So at the end of each lesson, and also inside the welcome email, I will show you, there are 2 links. So we have a link that says, I want the next lesson now. And we have a link that says the next lesson tomorrow. So you basically write like a nice welcome email. I leave it up to you how you do that. And then in the end of that email, you ask like, hey, you know, you're the boss here. You are the captain. You can decide how you want to continue in this course. So then if they want to receive the next lesson now, they have to click this link. If they want to have it tomorrow, they click this link. Now those links that I'm using look like this. So I created a page on my website that is called maxvancollenburg.com/trigger/now. It does not really matter what's on these pages. It's just important that it is a link because ActiveCampaign can only track link clicks. So if somebody clicks on the link, we know. But I can show you what my page looks like. Feel free to inspire yours in it. It's just really simple. It just says next lesson is on its way. The next lesson will be in your inbox in about 10 minutes. And then I like to include a personal picture of me. So feel free to copy something like this. And then the tomorrow page looks very simpler. Then it says like, okay, talk to you tomorrow. So make sure that you have these 2 different links. Here you see that we have the tomorrow link. So you have to include those inside your email. Then you go to next, and then you will get a little campaign summary. It's basically like the email summary. And then you have to make sure that link tracking is on, because otherwise we cannot track the link clicks inside that email. So what we're going to do, if someone clicks the now link, we want to basically skip these 2 wait actions, right? And if they click the tomorrow link, we're basically not going to do anything because then they will just wait until 12 and then they will wait until 10 a.m. So even if they do not click the links at all, they will just continue. But if they click the now link, we want to skip these 2 and we're going to do that with a goal. So a goal allows you to jump to a certain step inside the automation. So here I will say once lesson 1, and then we're going to click to add a goal. And then we say has clicked on a link, and then you have to select which email, in which email. So I want to do the welcome email, and then you have to select which link. Now, here's the now link, here the tomorrow link. I want to continue when I click the now link. Then we click save. And then you also see a bunch of other settings. It's important that you leave this to below contact's position. So not that when they're later in the automation, they open an old email, they click on an old link, that they jump back. You really do not want that. So leave this just as is. And also if the contact does not meet the goal conditions, you want to continue anyway. So if they did not click, they have to continue in the automation. And then we click save. And then you see how it works. So we have our email, we wait until 12, we wait until 10 in the morning, and then we send our lesson. Or if they click the now link inside this email, they automatically jump to the goal and they will receive the next lesson. So we're going to do that also for the second lesson. Once lesson 2, click to add a goal, then you select here has clicked on a link, and then which campaign. Lesson 1, they clicked now. So it's very important that you double check which email you selected. So here I checked, okay, did they click lesson 1? Then they continue to the second lesson. Now we do that 2 times again. Once lesson 3, click to add a goal, has clicked on a link. Now which campaign? The second one, and then now. Click save. Click save again. And then we have to do it 2 more times. Goal, once lesson 4, has clicked on a link in lesson 3. Now click save. So it's always the previous lesson, obviously. And then we have to edit 1 more time. Goal, once lesson 5. And then we're going to check if they clicked something in lesson 4. So we select here lesson 4, click now, click save. All right. And then basically the basic email course is already there. Like you could just leave it there and then your email course will be delivered, but we want to send more reminders as soon as the deadline is coming closer, right? So we have our welcome email, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5. And in lesson 5, we're going to tell people about our limited time offer. So after that, they cannot continue to the next email, whenever they want. We're just going to say, okay, here we're going to wait until the current time. And then here I'm going to choose Europe, Berlin, because deadline funnel will also show you in a bit, works with time zones. So I'm going to wait until it is midnight in Berlin. Click save. And then I'm going to wait until the current time in Berlin is 10 a.m. So I just chose that time zone because that's how I've set up deadline funnel. They cannot check what time zone your subscriber is in, basically. So it's a bit of a downside, but I've also had great success with this. Like it still works, but then maybe if you have subscribers in different time zones, then this email can arrive on a later time of day. Now, what we then have to do is we have to trigger the deadline. We have to start deadline funnel. So we're going over to deadline funnel and then we're going to create a campaign. So what we want to do is that as soon as someone is receiving lesson 5, we want to start the 3-day deadline. So let's go over to deadline funnel and then we have to create a new campaign. So here in the sidebar, you can click create new campaign and then you'll get a screen like this. So you can give it a campaign name. So I will call it email course. And then the category is, I've set it up with products. So in this example, we're going to do it for a product that is called funnels that convert. Now, then you have to set up which integrations you're going to use. So I'm going to use ActiveCampaign and WordPress because my website is made with WordPress. And then I'm going to click next. Then you have to select a blueprint. So they have different ones. So we're going to use the email sequence and then a special offer. So the email sequence is our free email course, and then we're going to send a special offer. Now then we're going to click next, and then you have to set your deadline length. So if you want to use 3 days, then you leave it to 3 days. And then if you want, you can also change the time, but most often I use 1 minute to midnight. And then you have to select a time zone. This is what I was talking about. You cannot just say, okay, the time zone of the subscriber, because Deadline Funnel just doesn't know that. So I'm going to say here, Central European Time, Berlin. And then below there's also some explanation with, okay, if they join Wednesday, then the deadline is on Saturday. But if they join Thursday, then the deadline is on Sunday. Now, then we click next. And then we have to add our funnel steps. So I find the name of funnel steps a little bit confusing, but it's basically all your landing pages, checkout pages that are related to your offer. Those go in here. And then where do you want to redirect them when the deadline expired? So I'm just going to add a page here. Page/funnels that convert special offer. This page does not really exist, but I'm just making something up now. And then we're going to redirect that page to maxknor.com/offer expired, something like that. So this is going to be the page that we're going to send people to. And then after the deadline expired, they will see this page. Now, then we click finish. And then we have set up our campaign, but there are still some things that we have to do. So if you use Deadline Funnel for the first time, you have to go over to your tracking code and you have to put that on the pages that are related to your campaign, or you can use it, add it to the header of your website, but you then have to keep in mind that it can slow down your website a little bit on pages where you don't really need it. So I really like to add it only to pages that I need for the campaign. So you have to do that. And after that, you have to go to integrations. So go to integrations, and then it will show you a list of the integrations that you have. So I'm going to click my main integration basically. And then you have to select a custom field where you want to save the subscriber's deadline in. So that's actually really cool. So Deadline Funnel is going to create like a little text for you that says when the deadline expired. And then you can use that inside your emails if you want. So I created a custom field called deadline inside ActiveCampaign. And then I'm going to store that inside that custom field. And then what you have to do is you have to copy the webhook. So a webhook is basically a little URL. You see it here. We copy it, we add it to the automation, and then ActiveCampaign is going to send data to that URL, to that webhook, whenever you want to. And then at that moment, Deadline Funnel knows, okay, John or Peach or Amber or whatever, his or her deadline is then and then. So copy that, go back over to your automation, and right after lesson 5, we're going to add a webhook, and we paste that in there. Then we click save. So right after they receive lesson 5, the deadline, the 3-day deadline will automatically start. Now, what you have to do then, you have to like throw like a test contact inside your automation and like skip everything and then go towards your webhook, and then you'll see here that the status was successful, but I'm not going to do that now. It takes quite long before that's triggered. But you can do that. I don't even think you absolutely have to do it, but just to double check that it's really working. So then we're going to edit our campaign. So then you see here, also here you see the URL again. And then what we want to do is we want to check our funnel steps. So here we have our funnel steps. These are the pages that we just created. Like we just added this, which is like my fake sales page, and then our offer expired page. And this is where we want to redirect people to. So what we want to do is we want to use some special email links. So if you go over to email setup, you see that you get like a special link. Now what this allows you to do is that if you add this to your emails, then it doesn't matter on which device they click that link, the deadline will always be in sync. And I think that's really cool. So even if they open it on their tablet or on their computer or on their phone, or maybe even if they forward the email, then the deadline will always be the same. So instead of linking people to this page, you have to copy the URL. I will do it here, copy. And then I'm going to edit to lesson 5. Let's edit this. And you can also see immediately how you do that. So here, obviously, this is not the case. Get the offer now. Something like that. Obviously, you have to write a better email than this. Paste it in here. And then you also see here that this the email variable. So ActiveCampaign will automatically add the email of the receiver of the email to the link. So that's how they are able to track who's who. Now, and then we say OK. Perfect. Now, then what we want to do is we want to add our email timer. And I think this is something really cool inside Deadline Funnel. So you have a timer, like a deadline timer, an animated timer that is going to like tick down. I'm not sure if that's proper English, but it will like tick down towards the deadline. So first thing you want to do is you want to create what it looks like. So what I like to use, here you see here that you have like a bunch of different options, but I really like this one. Then I'm going to click continue. I'm going to change the colors. I'll say here, okay, I want to have it yellow. Yes. And then you see that it looks like this, and then you also see how it's like animating. And this will always be in sync with that deadline. It's really cool, right? Now, then you click save and exit. And then you have to copy this code. So this code you can use in all your emails. So inside ActiveCampaign, you drag the HTML block inside your email, and then you click paste. Now, and then you can use that in a bunch of different emails if you want. So usually I'm not already using it in like lesson 5, but I would more use it in like, hey, you have 1 day left. Hey, you have until tonight, like those emails. Now it's maybe a bit too early, but I just want to show you how you can really easily add that. So after you've done that, you maybe also want to add a timer to your web page. So we're not going to do that right now, but I just want to show you how you do that. So you would set this up again. So you have to copy the URL, paste it there, and then you see what kind of timers you can add to your page. So you can either add a display floating timer, like a floating bar. It's like, yeah, a floating bar on your desktop with like a big timer. Or you can use an inline timer, and it looks much more like this, that you can add something like that to your web pages. I really like to do that. Then you can just copy this code and you can add it to your pages. So for every different kind of timer you want, you can also use like dynamic text. You have to add a new funnel step and also a new redirect. I'm not sure why they went for this way of setting this up. I think it's a bit confusing, but that's how you do it. You just have to add a new funnel step for each kind of timer and for every different kind of page. So if you, for example, also have a checkout page, then you also have to add your checkout page, maybe a floating bar, an inline timer, and dynamic text. You just have to do this a couple of different times. So then we click save here, and then you can add that to your page, and you can also edit the appearance if you want. Now, and that's basically all you need to do with Deadline Funnel. Now, Deadline Funnel will automatically start the deadline as soon as this, let me scroll down, this webhook is triggered. Then it will automatically start. So it does not matter when they open the email. The deadline will always be 3 days after this email is sent at midnight. Now, and then we're going to wait till midnight. We're going to wait until 10 a.m. and then we're going to send a bonus lesson. Now, you can just be creative, but something super duper valuable in there that someone is like, whoa, hey, I did not expect this. I thought the course was only 5 lessons and I'm getting an extra lesson. Wow, that's really cool. Now, and after that, we're going to add a simple wait. So here we're just going to say we're going to wait for 1 day. Now, why do we wait here for 1 day and here every time we wait until midnight and then until 10 a.m. That's because we do not know what time people receive these emails in case they clicked, I want it now. Because then, yeah, they can receive it at all different times of day, right? So that's why we always have to wait till 12 a.m. and then 10 a.m. And then here, because we know that the bonus lesson will be sent at 10 a.m. and there's no way for them to automatically continue to the next one, we just say wait for 1 day. And then we know the cool story will be received at 10 a.m. the next morning, 1 day before the deadline. So yeah, I like to use a cool story, but you can literally send everything. You can also send success stories, maybe of people you've had that had success with your product or service. And then we're going into the last day. So we're just going to say here again, wait for 1 day. And then this is our last day. This is the last day the offer is valid. And this is a really important day. These emails are really, really important because most people will buy on the last day. So this will be sent at 10 in the morning. And then I want to send this at 2 in the afternoon. So what we're going to say is we say wait until specific conditions are met. Current time, Europe, Berlin is, let me look for it, is, now you can do either 2 p.m., 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. I really like 3 p.m. I'm not sure why, it's just like a few hours after the other one. Then we click save. So then the people will receive that email at 3. And then we're going to send a last chance email and we're going to send that one at 8. So we say wait until the current time is 8 p.m. All right. And then we planned our whole follow-up section, like of when we're going to send the reminder emails, basically. So all these emails are reminders, but they also have some kind of value in them, right? So we sent a bonus lesson. It is a reminder, but it's also something valuable. We sent a cool story. It's a reminder, but it's also something valuable. And on the last day, we're just hard selling. We just said, okay, short email, like the deadline is tonight. You have to act now. Also here, your questions answered. Yeah, it's all about the product, not so much value, but I think that's okay. And then again, we remind them really hard, hey, the deadline is tonight. And then again, you add that email timer in there. And then also a last chance email. Now, and that's basically it. But also not really, because we still want to end the automation somehow. So what I like to do is we wait until the offer expired, right? So we say current time. Now we know that it's expiring at midnight. So at this point, at this time, the whole course is over. They received all the lessons, they received all the follow-ups, and either they bought the offer, they purchased it, or they did not. So we want to check that here. We want to check, did they purchase it or did they not purchase it? So for that, we're going to add an if else. So what we do, then there are multiple methods for this, but I like to do this. We check if they have a tag. So I created a tag that is called sales purchased funnels that convert. So with my cart software, which is Thrivecart, I can automatically add tags to ActiveCampaign as soon as someone purchases something. So I can do that. Depends a bit on how your setup is, if you can do that. I know it's also possible with, for example, WooCommerce. You need then like an extra plugin or something, but then you can also add tags and then you know exactly in ActiveCampaign who purchased what. Now, but that's not really it, because sometimes someone is already on your list and then they purchase with a different email address. And yeah, then we just want to check if they visited a page, because ActiveCampaign also has site tracking. So you have to install that. I will explain it in another tutorial, or you can even find it in their documentation. But then you can check if they visited a certain page. So I will check if they visited a page called Success Purchased Funnels that convert. So you need like unique pages for that. So this is not a real page, it's just an example. But if they would visit that page, then I know, hey, this person purchased this product. Now, then you see that the automation is splitting into two parts. So the yes path is everyone who purchased. The no path is everyone who did not purchase. So everyone that did not purchase, we want to wait until the current time in the context time zone is 10 a.m. Click save. So then we just know, okay, they get this email in the morning. And then we're going to send our do you hate me email. So here, do you hate me? And I've seen really good open rates with this subject because people are like, what? Hate? Like hate is a really strong emotional word. Of course, I do not hate you because you gave me so much value. But yeah, why did these people not purchase then? Do you hate me? Continue. And then you can just keep this email really, really short. I could even write it right now. You could just say like, hey Max, noticed that you didn't purchase my offer yesterday. That's okay. I get that it's not for everyone, but it would really help me if you could describe in one sentence what kept you from buying. Thanks. PS. Now, then you can add something there. I will just say, you rock. And this is basically the email you need. Hey Max, I noticed you didn't purchase my offer yesterday. That's okay. I get it's not for everyone, but it would really, really help me if you could describe in one sentence what kept you from buying. And I actually get quite a lot of replies from that. Some are not so helpful, but some people are like a really good, explanation of what kept them from buying. So sometimes they thought, hey, this and this is not included. And I'm like, oh, I really have to highlight that on the sales page or something. So I'm going to click next. And then we're going to click finish. And then that email is added to our automation. Click save. And then we're going to exit the automation. So everyone who did not purchase will just exit the automation. And then what we want to do with the yes path, we're going to add one more goal. Now, why are we going to add one more goal? Why do we want to make people jump there? Now, we want to make people jump there if they're, for example, after lesson 5 and they already bought the course like a few minutes later, or maybe after the bonus lesson, they purchased the course or your product or service. And if that's the case, if they bought your offer, then we do not want to send them more follow-ups, right? Like that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 more emails if they buy it after the bonus lesson. So we want to make sure that they skip these emails. Now, to do that, we add a goal, and then we say has purchased offer. Click to add goal, and then we check if they have that purchase tag, or if they visited the page that contains success, confirmed, funnels that convert. If they ever visited that, click save. Click save. And then we exit the automation. Now, and if you want, you can also double check that they at least been sent lesson 5. You can add that to the goal in case someone already purchased your offer, but then they still wanted to follow your free course. That happens sometimes. So if you do not do this, if you do not check if they at least have been sent the last lesson, then that person will never get the course, and it can be a bit frustrating. So I really recommend to set up something like this. So check if they have the tag, check if they visited the success page, and check if they have at least been sent lesson 5. So it will never skip the main email course, but it will skip all the follow-ups in case this person already purchased it or will purchase during one of these reminders. And this is it. This is our email course automation. So again, I will put a link in the description below where you can just import this whole automation at once. So that will probably save you a lot of time, and then you only have to rewrite the emails so that you can create a kick-ass converting email course. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, then yeah, just let me know. And if this is helpful, please give it like a little thumbs up and consider subscribing. And yeah, if you have any questions about anything, then just drop a comment below.